I recently had a power outage due to some storms in the area that left me without power for like 15 to 20 hours or something. I don't know exactly. But I lost all of my food that I had in the fridge, the freezer, and in my deep freezer. And I didn't want that to happen again. So I got this set up here. This Anker Solix S2000 portable power station. And the solar panels to charge it up. So we're going to open it up, see what all comes with it, and do some testing on it. Alright, so let's start with the main item. Get it opened up and see what is all inside of it. This is very heavy. Let's see if it says the weight on here. 17.38 kilograms. I'm not sure what that is in poundage. But alright, so we have our paperwork first. Then a big thick power cord. Check that out. That's beefy. Oh, that's nice styrofoam. This thing is well protected. That's not the cheap styrofoam that just crumbles apart. That's nice. And here we have the Anker unit, which I'll need to stand up and pull it out of the box. Alright, here's our unit here. Kind of looks like a PC. It does have handles on both sides to make it easier to carry, because like I said, it is heavy. Lots of USBs and 3 regular outlets here. Let's see if it's got any power on it already. I don't even know if that's how you turn it on. Yep, there we go. Alright, comes pre-charged, 59%. Got our little cover here. Always very satisfying. Let's see if there's anything on the back. Alright, looks like a cooling fan there. 2 more outlets, and that'll be where you charge it up with electricity. Alright, let's take a closer look at the front here. That seems like a reset button where your solar panels plug in. 2 USB-C outlets, a regular USB, and the AC button right here. I guess maybe that turns everything on. Not real sure. We'll have to read some directions. It's a very nice looking unit though, for sure. Alright, our boy Bear, he come to help us. Good boy there. Let's see, one USB-C port, USB-A port, an AC output button, LCD screen, AC output port, XT60i input port, that's probably the solar panels, I'm not real sure. Reset button, main power button, AC output port, and the AC input port. Here are all the features we just looked at. Tells you where they are and what they are exactly. Over here it tells you what it comes with, which we already saw everything. So it's got all the directions you need. You hold it for 3 seconds to turn it on or off, and you click the AC to turn it on or off. Ultra fast recharging, 1600 watt max. And then it's got instructions for your solar panel recharging as well. The solar panels, the PV connector to XT60i charging cable, and the solar panel extension cables need to be purchased separately, but I got them together. I purchased them on Amazon as a package deal. I couldn't imagine buying something like this and not getting the solar panel, because it's for power outages. So, and you can always use the sun to power up your device whenever, if it dies, or to keep it charged up during those outages. And like I said, the reason I got it is to have a power source to plug in my fridge or my deep freezer when the power goes out, because I lost hundreds of dollars worth of food. That's not the first time it's happened, and with this I'm hoping that it'll never happen again. So that's the reason I mainly got this. But you can also use them for camping, throw it in an RV or in your vehicle for road trips and anything like that. Anywhere where you don't necessarily have power, you can take this unit and you'll be good to go. Alright, next we got to open up the solar panels, so let's check those out. But meanwhile, I'm going to go plug this into the wall so we can get fully charged. Alright, let's get these solar panels opened up. If we have enough room here. And these are bifacial portable solar panels. In the box, there's the charging cable right here. Check it out. One cable there. There's something else inside of this other side. Several different cables. Looks like there's two there. Maybe these hook together or something. Oh yeah, right there. They all hook together then. So I assume one there, then this one to here. Let's open up this panel here first. Alright, there we go. Hard to see. I've never had anything like this before. And it unfolds. Okay, and we have stands so you could put it at an angle. So that's cool. We're going to leave it folded up for now. We will take it outside and make sure it works, test it out, and see how well it charges up the battery. Alright, I plugged this in just so we can get a frame of reference. It's already charged it up 4%. You can see it's charging at 1086 watts. But we'll take it outside, hook up the solar panels, and see how well they do in comparison. Alright, we got our panels set up in the sun. We got our cables. We got our unit. So let's hook them up. Alright, I think it's on. There we go. The clips are just in this. The plugs are just in this corner here. They snap right in. You can't mix them up. Only one goes in one, the other one goes in the other one. Then we just plug this in to the front of the unit. So there we go, simple as that. Now let's move the camera and check it out. Oh, it's gonna be hard to see, isn't it? I cannot see it. Let me move this to a shaded spot. There we go. Now we can see it better. So 74 watts off the solar panels. Now I'm not familiar with this in any way, shape, or form. Don't know if that's good, if it's bad. But I do know it's free power. And it says 11.7 hours. I wonder if that's how long it's going to take to charge. Let's see what happens if I unplug it. Yeah, that time was how long it's going to take to charge up on solar. Let's see it go through the process again. Yep. 11.7 hours and this thing will be charged up fully with nothing but the sun. So some of the claims this thing makes are it'll run a refrigerator for 35 hours without power. 35 hours, that's a long time. And that would have saved me, if I would have had this already, which I should have, years ago, this would have saved me hundreds of dollars. So I feel real good about it, and I really love the solar. I never really got to have any real solar stuff, and this is, I mean, to me this is as real as I'll probably ever have. This was very expensive. This whole setup is like $1,000 bucks, so it's a lot of money. But I mean, just the security and knowing that my food is going to stay good even if the power goes out, I mean, that's freaking awesome. And I'm pretty sure that the solar panels give it enough wattage that it would continue to charge even if being used by a refrigerator. And this thing does have 3,000 watt peak usage. Like most devices, they're not going to use 3,000 watts, but a lot of items, boom, when they first kick on, there's a big burst of power right there, and this can handle that. But run continuously 1,600 watts, which is a lot of power. I mean, that's going to power anything you need in an emergency. So it probably wouldn't do very good at running like electric circular saws or anything like that, but it'll charge up the batteries for them, for battery powered ones. So pretty neat. Alright, so there is the Anker Solix setup that I got. I do plan to make more content with this, like another video putting it in, plugging the fridge into it or the deep freezer and seeing how much power it draws, how long it'll last without normal electricity. But I'm very happy with this. It's peace of mind, and it's going to save money if the power decides to go out ever again. But let me know some things you want to see done with this, and I'll try my best to make it happen. But that's it for this video. I want to say I appreciate you watching. Be sure to hit like and subscribe if you enjoyed it, and we'll see you on the next one. So I'm going to leave this out here to charge for a little bit. I'm going to move the main piece out of the sun though. Hey, what's up everybody? Jason here from PMP, and in this video we're going to check out some vehicle options for camp cooking off the grid. So our main source of power for this video is the Anker Solix S2000 that I recently got, and that's going to power all of our devices. Probably not all at once, but the way we are going to cook things, we won't need them all to be on at the same time. We also have our Jackery Explorer 300 for smaller scale stuff like charging phones and things like that. But with both of these units combined, we'll be able to charge whatever we need to and run whatever equipment we have. So here's a brief overview of everything else. I have a small fold-out table here, a collapsible sink for hand and dishwashing. Inside here I have pots and pans, water filtration and utensils. Of course, I have a small air fryer here, an induction cooker here, induction stovetop. This is to be used with stainless steel cooking ware. Back here I have an Instant Pot, which is a pressure cooker. Of course, I have the solar panels for the Anker. Now note, I wouldn't store these like this. I'd put them in my back seat wrapped up in a blanket. Here I have a cooler with food, some paper plates, seasonings, things like that, a couple water bottles, and some charging cables here. There's a brief overview of everything, but we'll take a better look at it all, one at a time. So the first thing we're going to do is set up our little folding table, and this is because we don't want to get any grease or food residue inside of our vehicle, so we'll be doing all the cooking on this table. The next thing I would do is, depending on what cooking device I'll be using, is get them set up on the table. For example, if I wanted to make some french fries or something, I'd use my air fryer. If I want to make some rice or something like that, I'd use my Instant Pot. And if I want to cook some meat or something like that, I would use this induction burner. I use this for melting candle wax to make candles, so it is a little dirty, but that's okay. Here is the collapsible sink, which, like I said earlier, you can use to wash your hands and to keep your dishes clean. Which we have a couple other items stashed away in other places that go along with this. And here would be my water filtering system here. It's the Sawyer gravity fed. It's a bag you fill with water, and then you attach this to this part right here, and the gravity forces the water out, and you have clean, fresh drinking water and clean water to wash your hands and dishes with. And then the rest of the items I keep in this container are some tongs, a spatula. This is a Pathfinder skillet here. It's got a heavy base on the bottom of it. And a Stanley prep and cook set. I took the bowls out of it. I would just use this. And some aluminum foil. This is good for a lot of things, but mainly like if you cook some French fries and then you don't want them to get cold, wrap them in foil, help keep them warm while you cook your other items. I also have a spoon that fell to the side there, and a nice little container to put water in. And if you don't want to use the filter, just bring you along some bottles of water and you'll be fine. I forgot to show it, but inside of the pan I did have a fork and a folding fillet knife. And I already put it back up. I don't want to get it back out just yet. But next we'll take a look at the lunchbox. In the top here I have some containers for leftovers. These will fit nicely in the cooler, as well as some paper plates in a bag to keep them clean. And a towel up here. You always need a towel. Very handy to have. And then in this front compartment I have some dish soap with a blue lid, so I know it's soap. The soap is blue, the lid's blue. In here I have some peanut oil. In here I also have a special seasoning I've been working on. Maybe we'll learn about that more in the future. And just a mix of salt, pepper, and garlic. And I keep that all in the front pouch here. Then over here in this side pocket, I have a battery powered digital thermometer. So if I'm cooking a steak, I can measure it exactly to the temperature that I want to cook it to, so it's not overcooked or undercooked. So I always use those. You know, I don't want to ruin my meal. So having an instant read digital thermometer, even cooking at home, is a smart idea. And most importantly, inside of the cooler part is the meats or anything else you want to keep cold. I just have steak and bacon in here for an example. Lots of ice packs in there. Ideally, honestly, I'd like to have one of those battery powered or electric coolers to put in here that I could use my Anker to charge it, to keep it charged. That would be ideal, but I don't have one as of yet. But maybe I will in the future. Let me know if you want to see me get one of those. Alright, so there is my setup that I'm going to be using in the next video to cook up a meal. So make sure you like and subscribe so you don't miss that. But go ahead and let me know what you think about this setup. And on the next video we'll see how it performs. But as always, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to hit like and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of my new content. Alright, now we are set up to do some cooking using our Anker Solix S2000. We got everything set up and we're ready to go. Alright, so if you didn't see my recent video of going over the little off-grid cooking setup that I got to keep in a vehicle, then be sure to go watch it before you watch this video, or after, it doesn't really matter. But on that video you'll see a more detailed breakdown of all the items. So we're just going to cook one thing at a time using our power station. The first thing is going to be rice. I already have some beef broth and some pre-rinsed rice ready to go, 1 cup of each for our Instant Pot. Then after that cooks, it'll stay warm in there even when powered down, so that'll give us time to cook up a nice New York strip steak with this induction burner. So what do you say, are you hungry? Let's get to it. Alright, so the first thing we got to do is power our unit on. There we go, still 100%. And then make sure you turn the AC on. Next we'll plug in our Instant Pot. You see we got power there, so we're good. Then we'll set it on the rice setting. Then we'll go ahead and open up our rice. Get it in there. And then we'll open up our beef broth and put it in there. Then you want to take a spoon or a spatula and make sure all of that rice is wet and underneath the broth. So there we go. Our rice is nice and submerged by the broth. Now we can start cooking. And we'll monitor how well our power station does while cooking this. It's already got an output of 1000 and it's not even on yet. So let's get to cooking. So then we'll just come down to here and we'll start cooking our rice. But I won't film the whole thing, but I'll keep you updated on how well it handles everything. So far it's drawing 1000 watts. That's a lot of wattage. I assume it will go down once it gets pressurized. It'll probably start to use less energy, but I'm really not sure. But that's what we're testing out. I don't have the solar panels hooked up, but I could. I don't think we'll need them though for this little experiment here. But if I was really even if I was just out camping or something legitly, I would hook up those solar panels so I could utilize the sun to get some free energy to keep my Anker charged up. What are you doing, bud? One thing to note, with pressure cookers, like this says 12 minutes to cook the rice. In actuality, it takes longer than that because it has to pressurize first, and that takes a few minutes. So that's going to use more energy than you might have originally thought. But we have 11 minutes for this to cook. So what are we going to do in the meantime, buddy? Huh? What do you think, Bear? Get it, boy. Go get it. Go get it, boy. Go get it. Get it, boy. See, it is nice and sunny, and if I wanted to, I could pull out them solar panels and get some free electricity, but I think we're alright. So it's just now starting. It's at 10 minutes, and look, it's using no power right now. Nothing at all. Yes, it already dropped down 4%, but it's using nothing right now because it's already under pressure, and it doesn't need that much power to keep going. So pretty cool. Anker also offers an app which you can use to check out how much power your unit is using and change different settings like the charging mode and things like that, which is a pretty neat feature. So while that's still cooking, we can take some of our oil. We patted this dry steak with a paper towel previously, but we'll take some of our oil, get it rubbed in there, and take some of our salt, pepper, garlic, and go ahead and get this bad boy seasoned up. We are about done here, only 2 minutes left on the Instant Pot. Let's check our power usage. Boom, we're still at 96%. It is starting to use 1000 watts again, but it just shut back off. It's hardly used anything. I'm actually very surprised. So I'm actually very surprised how efficient the Instant Pot really is. It's barely used any power. So that's pretty awesome. So that's definitely pretty cool seeing how efficient these are, especially if you love cooking with an Instant Pot. You can take these bad boys anywhere as long as you have a decent power station. So very cool. There we go, we're done. We'll unplug it and get ready for our induction cooker to warm up. So we'll just hit cancel and we'll leave that vent shut, but we'll unplug it. Plug in our cooktop, check power there, still at 95%. It's hard to see. Medium, I think it's 275. Yeah, I think that's roughly 300 right there. So we'll go with that. Give it time to warm up a little. check the draw, 775, so it draws less at one time anyway. I assume that it will use more power through the home cook, but we'll see. So we have our digital thermometer here. We're going to aim for about 127 because it will continue to cook a little bit afterwards. So this will give us a good medium rare. And of course, you got to click the tongs before you start cooking. And if you want to test how hot your skillet is, just get a little water. See how them beads just bounce around instead of just dissolving? That means your pan is plenty hot enough. And we'll throw some oil in there. Just going to react with that water. Our pan might be a little bit too hot, honestly. Yeah, I think our pan's too hot, so we need to turn it down a little bit. Okay. When you take the pan off of an induction burner, the burner turns off. She's definitely ripping hot, but hopefully we put this steak on there and it'll help cool it down. And let's check our power. It's hardly using anything again. It is on, you can hear it. See that steak is sizzling. That's crazy. Only 5 watts. It did use quite a bit. It lowered it down to 93 to get it going, but it's only using 5. That's crazy. But we'll just keep cooking this up. Flip it a couple times until it reaches our desired temperature. I'll also keep checking on the power being used as well. At this point, I think it's safe to say we could have easily ran both of these machines at the same exact time. But really, it's not a big deal because the Instant Pot will keep everything warm. But I absolutely could have cooked it all at once. So that's good to know. And that's why we do these kind of tests. Alright, let's check her out and give her a flip. Decent little crust forming. See the edges of the pan, not as good as the center. It looks alright. Now we can stick our thermometer in. That way we can keep a track on the temperature. Because look, we're already at 104 and rising, so we're getting close to being done. Alright, let's check our power usage. It did just drop down. It was 500 and something. And then as soon as I hit record, it went down to 5. But we're at 90%. So, I mean, that's pretty, there we go. 646. So it goes between using power and not using power. The Instant Pot definitely used less power. But I mean, we're cooking a steak. So it'll be alright. And we're getting close to being done. Just another few more minutes. So even if it goes down, even if the whole power goes down to 80%, you can still cook 5 good meals. I mean, kind of ridiculous, honestly, to take this kind of stuff out and use it in off-grid, but you could. And with the solar panels, I mean, you could just keep charging and charging and charging it, and, you know, basically unlimited meals. It's not going to give you enough charge probably to use this 3 times a day. But if you use this once a day for some nice cooking, you're going to be doing all right for a long time. So I'm very happy with this testing so far. But we'll pick the steak up and get back with you. We really want to get that other side hot again. All right, so we're reading 127 on both sides. So let's take her off. All right, we'll let that chill for a minute. But we will put the thermometer back in it so we can monitor it. And we can go ahead and see where we're at. 89%. So 11% cooked a wonderful meal. That's pretty awesome. I'm very pleased with that. Alright, but while that steak is resting for a few minutes, let's release the pressure on our Instant Pot. Alright, all the pressure is gone. But it is still piping hot, as you hopefully can see. Can you see the steam on camera? Not sure. But it is there. Our bowl is spinning. So let's get some rice on our plate. There we go. How does that look? Looks pretty good to me. Now imagine you're out in the woods or something, somewhere hiding, camping, and you get to cook some food like this. Now, you know we got to cut it open and see how our cook is. Here's that folding fillet knife I mentioned in the other video. And that's what we're going to use to cut our steak. So let's see how we did. Take out a little slice of rooski there. A little bit of fat, we'll cut that off. She's very juicy. Where's the camera? There it is. Looks good to me, but you know we gotta give her a taste test. Man, that's a good steak. Try some rice. Pretty good. But that steak is delicious. Alright, so safe to say this was a huge success. And we only used 11% of our battery. That's pretty freaking wonderful. Man, that steak is delicious. The rice, whatever. But the steak, man, it's good. Alright, but that'll do it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm really impressed by this Anker Solix S2000. I mean, I bought this unit because I wanted to protect the food in my fridge, because I recently lost hundreds of dollars worth when the power went out, and I didn't have any way to power my fridge or freezer. So this is definitely a good investment, maybe one of the better ones I've made when it comes to survival and preparedness. But yep, that's it guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to like, leave me a comment down below on what you thought, and we'll see you on the next one. I'm gonna go finish eating. Nom, nom, nom. What's up guys, Jason here from PMP, back with another video. If you saw one of my recent videos, then you saw the off-grid cooking setup I put together using the Anker Solix S2000. And you might have seen I mentioned that I wanted to get something else to add to that kit. Well, today we got 2 items to add to it. Alright, so first up, we're going a little British with it. We got an electric kettle, 1 liter capacity to try out. And we have a car refrigerator. This is the same brand of a dishwasher I recently got, and I was very happy with it. So hopefully this also meets those expectations. Here's the dishwasher by the same company. But you can check out that video by looking at my channel, searching up for this video right here. But I'm very happy with the dishwasher. So I'm hoping the cooler is equally as good. But first we'll open up this electric griddle and give it a test using the Anker Solix S2000 to power it up. And we'll read what kind of wattage it uses. Alright, so here is our electric kettle. We'll get it opened up. Info booklet. So we got 1 liter glass cordless electric kettle. Alright. Here we have a base for it. And here's the kettle itself. Alright, there is the kettle. Pretty nice looking. Max 1 liter, which is 4.2 cups. We're going to test that out real quick. It just goes right on top of there like that. Then we'll plug it right in here. But let's go get some water and see how long this takes to boil. Alright, let's turn our AC on and hit the power button on this. I really like how it lights up. So we'll see how long it takes to boil. It's 11:31 and 20 seconds right now, so we'll see how long it takes. You see it's already bubbling, and it's not even been like 30 seconds. Now when you're out camping, this obviously is good for sanitizing the water, but you could use it for, say, making a soup or broth like ramen noodles. I wouldn't cook it in here, but just pour the hot water in a bowl and the noodles will cook themselves. Alright, we'll check out our draw here. Looks like it's using 1024 watts. That's a pretty standard wattage usage for devices like this. So we're getting some nice condensation on the top. You can hear she's almost ready to boil. It's only been a couple minutes. Still using the same amount of power. We dropped down 2%. So she's boiling pretty good right now. I'm pretty sure the light turns off when it's complete. But you see there, she's definitely rolling. And our power is 4% down. And the time is 11:37 and 19 seconds. I forgot the exact time we started, but I'll put it on screen, how long it took. Oh yeah, there it kicked off. Definitely a boil there. And I'm pretty sure this will keep everything warm as well. So it's not just boiling it, it also keeps it warm, which will of course draw power. But right now it's using nothing, 4% to boil that in just a few minutes. Not too bad. So it's pretty cool knowing anywhere that I go, I'll have safe water to use for cooking, drinking, washing up, whatever. But I'll be able to make clean, safe water. And I like that. This thing was super cheap. It was like $15 to $18, so hardly anything. And it used very little power. Alright, let's check out the carb refrigerator next. Alright, so this item obviously is a little bit bigger. And it'll be a little bit more difficult to unbox on camera. So we're just going to do this. Alright, here's our unit here. Let's see how you can open this thing up. Okay, we got a box. All sorts of cables here. Let's scoot that back. We got a car adapter there. And a wall outlet here. Looks like some little feet come with it as well that we could put on. USB there. There we go. And it does show charged or charging, I'm not real sure. So the temperature is reading 71 right now. It is 79 degrees outside. And it's drawing 26 watts. So we'll check on it and see if the temperature lowers down. Don't feel anything yet, but it just got going. So we'll give this a little time and then come back to it. In the meantime, I'm going to work on mowing my yard. But I am going to throw water in there and see how cold it gets. And see if I have a nice refreshing drink after I get done mowing. So I also got to fix this lawnmower. This piece here is broken. It came off. So I'm going to try to put some self-tappers in it. Take this off first. Just kind of put that wherever we want. Hopefully these half-inch self-tappers will do the trick. There we go. I think we're good with 3 there. So job well done. Let's get back to mowing. Alright, so I took a little break, a little winded. So we're running 46 watts, still at 95%. Looky there, 36 degrees. Whew. Oh yeah, it's very cold in there. So nice. That water obviously is not going to get cold instantly, but this thing's working good. Whew, and I'm tired. I'm going to go take a break. So my phone battery's a little bit low, but I can just plug it in right here. So very convenient. So I'm going to let it charge up. But we're down to 31 degrees on this. I did adjust the temperature, because it's a refrigerator slash freezer, so it can go all the way down to 0. I think 35 is pretty good for a nice cold drink. But let me get this phone charged up a little bit and I'll get back with you. Alright, we've been plugged in for a while. 93%, it's not drawing anything currently. Holding at 35 like I have it set to. Let me actually just bump it down to 28 and see what happens. Starting to draw a little bit of power. Hardly anything though. Alright, but I got a little bit more mowing to do, and then we'll check on the cooler again. Alright, I just got done with my mowing. We're still at 92% here. Let's take a temperature reading. I don't know if this works right. I think my thermometer's off. It's not reading the correct temperature outside even. So we'll scratch that. It's very cold. And look at there. That water bottle. Whew, clouds right up as soon as I took it out of there. That's cold. Oh, that's going to be refreshing right now. I need this. Oh man, that's super cold. Now I get grass everywhere. Yeah, that's super cold. This thing's nice. Whew. Alright, but I'm not going to test it extensively in this video. I'll save that for a future episode. But so far, I'm definitely pleased with this thing. This would be great to take fishing. Alright, but that's it. Be sure to hit like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you on the next one.